If you love podcasts, you already know how to fit great stories into your busy day. So why not do the same thing with books? Everand is an affordable audiobook and ebook subscription that goes wherever you go. Your commute, your workout, your grocery run. No rearranging your schedule, no carving out reading time. Just hit play. For a limited time, new members get 2 free books when they start a free trial. Go to everand.com/listen to claim yours. That's everand.com/listen.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
DJ PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We're joined once again by Jay Stevens, NHL insider for KSL Sports and host of the Utah Puck Report. Jay, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Always love the Beastie Boys intro. That's a perfect pick.
Looking at this, now that it's all over and Carolina has won the Stanley Cup, is it easy to say that in this year, the fact that Colorado had so many injuries really explains what happened in the playoffs? Vegas with their draw to the conference final isn't crazy. Colorado with their draw to the conference final isn't crazy. Carolina was the best team in the East. And if Colorado had been healthy, maybe it would have been Colorado and Carolina. But since Colorado wasn't healthy, Carolina is the champ, and in dominating fashion, the way they won at the end there in those last 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's more than fair to say. Everybody had Colorado. I had Colorado and Carolina in the final. So I think, yeah, once Colorado wasn't healthy, because if you watched these two teams during the season, they just absolutely dominated. Obviously, Colorado wins the President's Trophy and then gets banged up a little bit. And Carolina just stuck to their system. They had such a good team. They were never able to get past the conference finals. And they stuck to the system. They added some important parts like Jackson Blake. And I think that just gave them that extra push. And then to do it with 2 goalies hasn't been done since the 84 Edmonton Oilers. So, yeah, I think that's fair to say. It would have been amazing to see what Colorado could have done to challenge Carolina's dominant, forecheck. I think they were built pretty much the same. They're both a real fast team with a super aggressive forecheck going up against a team that just is a brute force team with good zone entry. So, yeah, I think it would have been really interesting to see, but that's why the playoffs are set up this way. It's always an adventure.
As we do with the Jazz, we look at stuff to how it relates to them, as we watch the NBA and as we're getting accustomed with what the Utah Mammoth are about, we're looking at the NHL with an eye towards the Mammoth to see what they can learn from that. Anything, not just in this particular series, but in the entire postseason that you saw that caught your eye in terms of what the Mammoth could use or need?
Yeah, what really stands out is having a little bit more of an aggressive second line. The second line was the difference last night. You look for Utah's got to be looking at somebody else that can come in and be more sandpaper. They need 1 or 2 more big bodies to wear down the other team's offense, and then that balances out the speed. If you see what Carolina did, they had a super fast first line, a really fast but physical second line, just really chippy, agitating guys. I mentioned Jackson Blake already. He just and Stakehoven, they had that. They just had that grit to them, and where they finished every check. And if you took the puck from them, they just turned around and went right back at it. We call that water bugs or whatever. They just seem to be everywhere and just flying across the ice like that. And they definitely have that. And that's something more that the Mammoth need to add to their depth. And we really need to see what Vanacek could have done as a backup. I don't think they re-sign him. I think he was qualified, but we didn't see him play enough games to really get comfortable. And I think that's the same with the team. But Utah knows they need a solid number 2 or a number 1B. And there are a couple options coming available in the free agency. Nothing great, but maybe a guy that could play a year or possibly see what the youth movement has in it. But those are the biggest gaps between what they have now and what they need to get in the future, to make it further in the playoffs. They need more grit, they need solid goaltending, and they need 2 rested goaltenders when they enter the playoffs.
That sandpaper and grit you talk about on the second line, is that player that you're imagining in the system on the way up, or is that something that the Mammoth need to go out and acquire and use some of those prospects to have the value to get back whoever it is they need?
That's the question I've been getting the most. And I think the best answer from everything I've seen is basically every part the Utah Mammoth need is already in the pipeline. When I talk about goaltending, they've had that Villalta, they've had Stauber. Both of those guys deserve a chance. They're both free agents this year, but both of those guys deserve a chance to get some NHL games. They've proven themselves in the A. And then you got Michael Hrabal coming up, who could really be the future goaltender for the Utah Mammoth. He's 6'7". He had a phenomenal NCAA career, so he's already there. And as far as the sandpaper, man, they've got a couple. That Cole Beaudoin that they picked up right after they drafted Iginla that first year as the Utah Hockey Club, that guy's grit, and he's big, he's strong, he plays just like his father who played in the NHL, where he's just got the perfect NHL body already. And then I've talked about him before, but Gabe Smith, a 4th-round draft pick, part of the Utah Hockey Club, he's an absolute steal in the 4th round. If the draft were to be this year, he'd be a top 5 pick easy. He's just gotten better and better. He's got a mean streak to him. He's already in the preseason games for the Utah Mammoth. I think he's already fought 3 times, and I think he only played like 3 games. So he's a guy that you're going to see. I really expect him to be challenging for, if not taking, a roster spot this year. And same with Beaudoin. Both those guys could make the team this upcoming season.
This is fascinating for me to see what the management with Bill Armstrong is thinking, because, you can expedite it, but you don't want to expedite it at the risk of losing a potential big-time game changers. So they got to figure out, what's available and what is the cost of that availability, and then decide, okay, this is the right thing to do, or back off and say, nah, we're just going to wait. We're going to hold our cards because we believe that if we sit tight in a year or 2, we would have something that could be more special that would last several years. So I find that whole concept fascinating to see what they can do. If I put you in charge, what would you do?
I have learned so much from watching Bill Armstrong this year. I've been an NHL fan for as long as I can remember, and to see a guy do exactly what he says he's going to do consistently and not change anything, I think I would stick with the current plan. I think there's got to be a little bit of regret for giving up on Doan.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is nothing about Peterka. Peterka is going to be a phenomenal player for Utah. But I think Doan would have been more that second-line guy, just an amazing second-line center that plays super physical. He is a game changer, and he proved that already this season. And, this was his first full season in the NHL. And to see an asset like that go away and then see the work that you got to put into Peterka to get him into your system, which is kind of this – I guess it's the same thing they were doing with Doan. They brought him up. They thought he wasn't ready to finish those plays, so they sent him back down to the A. But, man – I just think the way they're doing it seems so smart, so well thought out. And if you look at everything in the pipeline, I love the line you just used of holding your cards, because, man, they've got a bunch of aces up their sleeves, and I hope they hold on to those. And it's been fun to watch because, like I said, some of these free agents come up, and you'll see other teams kind of forget what they have in their hand and – put it down and say, hey, give me that guy. And I was worried that Utah would do that for Larkin. But every time you see any player wants a trade, immediately the online blows up that it's going to be Utah. And I just don't see Utah being a real big player in either free agency or making a trade. I think they know what they've got. This is exactly where they wanted to be when they said they wanted to be here. They want to get good eventually and then stay good for a really long time.
Right.
And everything that you look at says they're ready for that.
Thumbtack presents Uncertainty Strikes. I was surrounded. The aisle and the options were closing in. There were paint rollers, satin and matte finish, angle brushes, and natural bristles. There were too many choices. What if I never got my living room painted? What if I couldn't figure out what type of paint to use? What if I just used Thumbtack? I can hire a top-rated pro that knows everything about interior paint, easily compare prices, and read reviews. Thumbtack knows homes. Download the app today.
If you love podcasts, you already know how to fit great stories into your busy day. So why not do the same thing with books? Everand is an affordable audiobook and ebook subscription that goes wherever you go. Your commute, your workout, your grocery run. No rearranging your schedule, no carving out reading time. Just hit play. For a limited time, new members get 2 free books when they start a free trial. Go to everand.com/listen to claim yours. That's EVERAND.com/listen.
You blew right past our exit. That's it. I'm going on ZocDoc and finding you an eye doctor.
Come on, babe. I don't need glasses.
How about Dr. Stafford? Patients say she's really quick at finding the right prescription.
Yeah, pass.
Dr. Taylor, this review says he helped me realize my situation isn't as serious as I thought, and he's in network.
Okay, fine. Book it. Whoa! Why is there a tiny volcano in the road?
Honey, that's a traffic cone.
Right.
You've got options. Download the ZocDoc app today.
Whether you're planning a big event, launching a new campaign, or just stocking up on team gear, finding the right promotional products makes all the difference. That's why so many brands turn to 4imprint. They offer thousands of options, from on-trend apparel and eco-friendly drinkware to tech, totes, and giveaways, so you'll find the right fit for any audience, purpose, or budget. You can customize it all. Your logo, your message, your look. And many items come with no setup charge to help you save. And if you're really watching the bottom line, you'll find standout choices at every price point, so you can make a real impact while staying on budget. Plus, you'll get expert help, fast turnaround times, and their 360-degree guarantee, so you can be 4imprint certain your order arrives on time and looks exactly right. Whatever your goal, 4imprint makes it easy to find your perfect promo match. Explore the possibilities today at 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did she have to fight a dragon?
Nope. She bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.
Kevin O'Connor, former Utah Jazz general manager, said once when someone said something about overpaying for a free agent, he said, you always overpay for free agents. The question is, how much do you overpay for free agents? Is the same true in the NHL? Because even though you can make your team better, you also jam your team up against the salary cap and prevent you from making the next move. You know, if you're 3 moves away, you don't want to spend all your cap room on one move and then think, well, now how do we make the next 2? So there is a certain reward with staying with the young guys, but plus it keeps you out of that cap trouble. So if you're not sure what to do, maybe that tips the scales right there, staying out of the cap trouble. How much have you seen teams jam themselves up with one free agent move or one trade and they overpay and they don't have enough left to make the next couple of moves?
Yeah, you see that a lot. Just the most recent that comes to mind is the Nashville Predators. They went out and got all the high-dollar free agents with Marcia's Show and Stamkos, and they're like, that was 2 years ago, and they thought, this is going to be the Stanley Cup for us. We're going all in, and gave those guys big contracts for longer term than, you know, their teams were willing to do. And they didn't even make the playoffs the first year with all that talent. And you see it a lot. You see this guy was so amazing, but sometimes, especially in hockey, the thing that makes you amazing is the line you're on and the guys you're playing with and that chemistry. So you've seen a lot of teams do that. And that's one thing the Mammoth and Bill Armstrong has consistently said is we're not going to go try to win the Stanley Cup, you know, in July. We're not going to go on free agency and spend and win it that way. They're going to pick up valuable assets that are cheap, which, you know, there's a couple of goalies that are coming up that'll be cheap. And then, like you said, it's perfect to bring this. Now's the time to start the youth movement because those guys are $900,000 a year for the next 3 years. And you're right. So that keeps that salary cap open and it gives you a lot of time for not a lot of money to give them the experience. The only question is, are you willing to let the youth movement come in right now? And are you willing to take a little bit of a step back in the standings to give these guys the experience they need right now and make them better for the next season? Do you sacrifice the upcoming season for the 27-28 season?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Jay. I'm wondering if I can make the point, though, if they do that. So for sake of argument, they go ahead and do that. But yet, a lot of the core, particularly a couple players that are already here, are still young themselves, and we expect internal improvement from them. So if they go with these guys, bring them up, but then the nucleus of the team, at least 2-3 guys, still are young enough that they can improve, that they can offset that, and so they don't necessarily have to take a step back while they're progressing the development of the young guys, because the guys who aren't here, but the guys on the team, the young guys, they're developing and they're going to be better, so we can handle that and still be a competitive playoff team in a year from now. Is the mindset that? Because I can see that could be a plausible possibility.
Yeah, 100%. They've taken a long time to build this nucleus, right? This talented group of super young kids. I mean, you look at Keller, the veteran leader on the team, at 27, 28 years old. Yeah, so they've got exactly what they need to keep moving forward. The problem is, and it's not a problem, because these kids coming in have had successful major junior seasons or even played a year in the A. So you would expect them to be able to come in and be ready. But that's going to, one way or another, that's going to cost you a few games in the beginning of the year while these guys get caught up to the speed, because there's no better teacher than the game. Like, the guys have to be in the game to get the experience, to be good down the road and be able to battle that out. So, yeah, you're right. Maybe it doesn't affect them. Maybe they put these young guys in and they don't skip a beat. But that's the gamble. That's the thing that Bill has to figure out is, will we skip a beat? Is it worth it to skip a beat? And, you know, that doesn't mean they don't make the playoffs, even if you're teaching these young guys. It just means that maybe you lose a few games that you would have won the season before. And that's just an experience thing. But also, maybe these young guys coming in need that. Maybe they don't know that, you know, some of those overtime losses that the Mammoth experienced, maybe these are overtime specialists or, you know, really good third period shutdown guys. And they've got the time. I mean, we're talking all top 10 picks coming in.
Yeah.
So they definitely have the potential to just be a phenomenal team with a lot of youth movement.
Jay Stevens, NHL insider for KSL Sports and host of the Utah Puck Report, joining us. I break the core of this team into two groups. I mean, they definitely have young guys on the way up in Cooley and Gunther, and their timeline matches these younger guys. But, man, Sergachev and Keller and a handful of other guys, they're in their primes. Like, now's the time. So when you say, hey, you're willing to take a step back this year, no. Sergachev, Keller, this is it. Let's go. So I'm wondering if there's a middle ground here. Bring the young guys up. And this all started with you saying, hey, they need someone with some grit on that second line. And you also made a good point. Some guys look good because of who they're on the ice with. So my question is, as these guys come up, do you see, and maybe it's not the same for all the guys coming up, there may be a distinction there, somebody who should be put on the second line, and they need to be with those guys, and there will be growing pains, and it is Keller's prime, and it is Sergachev's prime, and, oh, well, we're going to do it. But can you bring them up and put them on the fourth line? Now they're not on the ice with the same guys, so maybe they don't learn the same way, but maybe that's a way to finesse it a little bit, and maybe it depends on the player. What do you think?
Yeah, 100% depends on the player. A guy like Cole Beaudoin, you could put on the fourth line. A guy like Gabe Smith is going to be a fourth line guy. Your third line could use some grit too, but you don't put a guy like T.J. Ginla or Caleb Denoye anywhere but lines 1 and 2, because those are your scoring lines, those are your finesse lines, and those guys, that's the guy's jobs. You've seen in the past, or a guy gets pulled up and they get put on a fourth line, and you're T.J. Ginla. The fourth line guys aren't going to keep up with you, for one, and then two, like there's.
No, we lost him. Internet connection goes. You don't trust a cell phone, then you put him on his laptop, and then the computer goes. Okay, fine. I know. Walked us right to the cliff there, and then fell apart.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
go on. That's all you can do.
We are going to go on. Just sit here in silence.
Well, it's fascinating to see what they do, but the good thing is they're dealing, I think, from a position of strength. It's not a panic situation, so I take comfort in that. It's like the Jazz. No matter who they draft, it is an opportunity to get the team better.
Jay Stevens is back with us now. He has rejoined. Jay, you walked us right to the cliff. Finish that thought.
Am I here? Okay, so what I was talking about is just being able to put talented players in the right positions, because you can't put a guy like Iginla on the fourth line. The fourth line doesn't think and react like Iginla. You know, your third and fourth lines are supposed to draw penalties, create turnovers, frustrate the other team, pin it down in their corner and tire them out and make them chase you around for a bit. And that would be, you know, guys in the past have been pulled up and put on those lines. In the 80s and 90s, it was like, all right, we pulled a guy up out of the minors. He can't be in the top two lines and see how that works. And it never really worked. You know, you need like-minded people with like-minded people on a line to make it work. So, yeah, I do think you see Iginla make that top six. And I think you see Cole Beaudoin and, you know, maybe Gabe Smith on the third and fourth line. That makes sense. That's a good place for them to fit. And that helps the youth movement. And you're right. Keller's in his prime. Sergei's in his prime. It'll be interesting to see what other guys they bring back. I could see him maybe offering another year to Ian Cole to balance that out and just keep, because he was such a blue collar guy who did all the hard work in front of the net and ate a ton of pucks in front of the net. And really, I think was such an on ice and off ice leader for the youth movement that I could see them extending them or even just making him a coach. But then you got to ask yourself, the guys that we love that were here last year, who do we give a roster spot to if it takes a spot from Iginla or Beaudoin or Denoyer? So you're going to see some a lot of line mixing in the beginning of the season. And it'll be interesting to see what happens and see if they really do. There's just not really great free agents on the market that you'd want to go out and pick up. I mean, technically Kane's a free agent and Tuck, who have been great players in the past, but I just don't think there's enough to go chase to change that line or, you know, to give up a spot for one of these guys that is a top 10 pick.
Jay, we appreciate the time as always. Thanks for joining us and look forward to talking to you again throughout the offseason as they do or don't make moves. We'll see what happens.
Draft coming up on the 26th, free agency, July 1.
Jay Stevens, NHL insider for KSL Sports and host of the Utah Puck Report. Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will go over everything we've talked about in this show, including have the Wizards botched it away and given away their leverage. We will get to that next. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
If you love podcasts, you already know how to fit great stories into your busy day. So why not do the same thing with books? Everand is an affordable audiobook and ebook subscription that goes wherever you go. Your commute, your workout, your grocery run. No rearranging your schedule, no carving out reading time. Just hit play. For a limited time, new members get 2 free books when they start a free trial. Go to everand.com/listen to claim yours. That's everand.com/listen.
Summer is all about freedom, fun, and growing up. And between the ages of 9 and 13, kids are starting to form their views about alcohol. With more independence, their still developing brains need more guidance and support than ever. That's why summer is the perfect time to stay connected and plan fun, safe family activities together. Research shows kids who spend quality time with their parents doing what they enjoy are less likely to drink underage. And when kids feel close to you, they're more likely to listen, especially when you set clear expectations. In fact, kids who drink before 15 are far more likely to struggle with alcohol later. This summer, create a no-bummer summer with fun, alcohol-free activities for your kids. Go to summer.parentsempowered.org to take a quick quiz and discover ideas tailored to your family. A little time together can make a big difference. For more information and to learn more about how to prevent underage drinking, visit parentsempowered.org.